And welcome back immediately into the game. Now, unfortunately, out of all of our hands, the Brazil servers are currently going through a little bit of a time. They're having a bit of a tough time. So all of the players have actually opted to play on a different region server, which is down to the rehost. And I'm going to very quickly list those bans across the top. Echo, Monty, Thatcher, and Mira are the 4 that have been removed here.
Standard enough for kind of Brazil's standpoint. I understand the Mira ban for this map especially because the Mira kind of positions, they stop rushes fairly decently on Villa, and whenever we know that teams are going to try and rush in, it makes sense to ban those operators. Also, Monty being chosen, which is that an operator that really YeaH Gaming would take as one of their choices? Because again, there's no hard bridge from YeaH Gaming, no Thermite.
Yeah, I mean, they love just kind of playing this aggressively. They're bringing the F2 probably for the Maestro cams. As we said, it's a big part of this region, and they're using that to generally shut down. And then the F2 itself, which is just a monster of a gun. Let's see if they can find their way into this a little bit better. As we said, they took more rounds than we expected, but the first fight has already opened up across this construction side, and Leak is the one to open up the frag drop Pigeon, who has otherwise been both in the good books and the bad books of this game today.
He's had an alright showing. I would like to see more from him though, because he has a lot of potential, I feel, but once again, that quick rush just hasn't worked for YeaH Gaming. Everybody has just stopped in their tracks from NGdP, and well, they take the first round. Yeah, these rushes, I think, are just gonna get out of hand a little bit too much now if you're YeaH Gaming, and potentially you kind of have to reserve back to the more standard way of play.
Yeah. Now, I will point out, obviously the top banner is slightly wrong. NGdP are 1 round up there, and YeaH Gaming 1 map up, whether that's what that relates to or not. But Aviator Games is where we are going to head to next. Again, it was just a very clean hold, a very clean shutdown of what YeaH Gaming were attempting, really kept control well of the rest of the map and reacted well. And we said that was one of the downsides in the very first game we saw today, was the lack of communication, the lack of feedback as to where the push was coming from and why it was coming from there, led to a lot of liquid positions that were deadly. Still no hard breach from YeaH Gaming. It really puzzles me, because we would never ever see a non-hard breach pickup from any other region. Ever. Especially when you assume it's going to be this point as well. Especially when you're thinking it's going to be Aviator Games. They just ran the other top floor. No Maverick to take control of Gunvolt at a minimum. No Thermite. No, and Habana's allowed as well. All hard destruction is up.
We have seen matches in other regions where they have banned both hard breachers because they rely on it so much.
Yep.
I honestly feel as if Brazil banned 2 hard breachers in one match, it's as if they're trolling their bans.
Yeah.
Because that would not affect any of them if we're talking logically here.
And that's the thing, imagine if they went up against a region where the other region, the NA or the EU, were the first to ban hard destruction. If LATAM then just banned the other general
they would not care, they would not be phased.
They wouldn't care, but the other region would be at a massive disadvantage. Gold Striker is going to try and lie down and just not 100% sure what he attempted to achieve there.
What is he doing?
It was bold.
Oh my.
And it was the wrong decision, I think it's fair to say, as does pull back, and Leak is actually the one that's able to open up the fragging. Jaeger running out underneath, and Patron finds gold and puts the Valkyrie out of her confused misery as they start to apply more and more pressure to the top floor.
Oh, and you can see IQ just walk straight down the corridor, and that's an easy frag onto the Maestro. Another one inside of Vault is where Mozzie will be. 552 Commando, can it hit the shots? He knows exactly where it's going to be, but the response coming in from, that's going to be the man behind the bar. Mute with the MP5K, interestingly, a gun that we kind of thought was put back in towards the old vault storage system that just never really gets taken out anyway, and double C41 misses, but still, it doesn't matter. League is at it on yet again, another kill, and YeaH Gaming, they've been stopped in their tracks once more with a quick aggressive rush, and they're literally trying to get this game over as quick as they can.
Well, Jaeger suffers and drops down, doesn't actually get killed in the meantime, and I'm guessing it's the worry of the ping. Really took some kill confirmation there so far, and it just shows you how much just a little bit extra ping can really, really mess with these guys' skill. But GCR is now going to push straight towards the point, and the hot pings are coming. Not the good kind of ping if you're on the defender. And there is Mozzie suffering as GCR brilliantly locks down a round that was completely against him in a 1 versus 3.
He had no right winning that. And I feel it's because of the aggression that LATAM brings, specifically there from NGdP. We just seen that mute peak for no apparent reason. Yes, I get the idea of the crossfire, but if you know that Jaeger's downed, why would then you try and pursue to help your man? Play the 1v2 on site. You're in a great position in behind that bar. Why not stay there? Allow your Mozzie to play inside a vault. As soon as he pushes in, guess what he is? The refrag is there.
Well, I think it was unfortunate as well that we saw 2 C4s fall victim to the same bit of loose wall that stopped what could have been a big moment as well. Again, it's just curious decisions for me. And as I said, I love the aggression from the region. I love what they were trying. But Valkyrie lying down as gold in the doorway, and the standard push of that is on what was her right shoulder. What is there left is along that kind of ruins wall. It's normally your first point of contact from that spawn. If you are looking at a spawn peak, you're expecting people to head over that ruins wall and be in line of sight, and yet she seemed kind of lapse and as if she was just waiting for the other side and waiting for the push from the other thing. Leak so far, got to give a shout out to how well he is playing for someone who, as I said at the very beginning of the previous game, was accidentally swinging to teammates. Has absolutely lit up so far. The opening kill, both rounds, and absolutely destroyed the previous, but let's see if they can find another way of making this work. Nice little Valk cam there, buried underneath. And from this point, it is just a matter of seeing if they can, I guess, hold it a bit better.
Yeah, Gaming have brought hard breach. Surprisingly, for the first time, not only in this particular map, but also inside a cafe, there was no hard breach. So the 7th round is where they will bring that for their attacks. But then they are also, lacking some pretty key components, such as Sophia is kind of missing out there. Capitao as well is a big one. Nomad more especially, and they're just going to rush up. Somehow, Pedron loses that? In what universe does Gold Striker have any right in winning those? And another one, they're feeding this man, giving him all the kills. C4 gets tossed out, but here comes the LMG from Sophia. Yeah, Gaming, I don't know anymore. I just don't. I don't understand.
Well, that's Pedron, who's not having a great game so far, being the first dropped, and Hard Destruction's back off the table. So we're back to the standard push here.
They played their Thermite as an entry. That's the worst bit about it.
Yeah, you bring your Thermite as the Energy Fragger, and things can only go well. Freeze Out drones a bit of that out, but not the entire thing, as Conte tries to hold the angle. And yeah, again, Godzilla is buried in that hunting vault. Going to try and hold on to it to the best of their ability. Now, last time it was a 3 versus 1, and it came down to a clutch. So it's impossible to really write out anyone in this game, but we'll see if they can try and work the magic again. A minute 40, loads of time, and everything's really that's nice in the attacker's favor, but they've got to start trying to find a way to frag out. And Leak, as I said, who's already had an exceptional game so far, is lurking underneath, waiting to rotate up from Library when they get the call to do it. And you can see a lot of the attackers are just kind of held up, stuck, and Freeze Out manages to pull down Godzilla, and Leak is still there and still waiting and still ready, and as I said, it's just going to be a problem that shows up in about 20 seconds.
Another frag comes in, this time from YeaH Gaming, and it has swung into their favor. Conte still alive and well, who did cause them issues inside a cafe. Leak now on the hunt. Constant pings by Q's holding the angle, but misses shots. Equally, Leak just scurries away downstairs. Knows that diffuser isn't planted, so there's a bit of time to work with, and instead we'll try and rotate in towards that main stairs. And let's see if Conte can try and stop the defuse, which is going down right beside the B-bomb. And he's actually walked past the man, but GCR, he was holding firm. And, well, Leak now, all to do 1v3. They know exactly where he is, and the shots rattle on through. YeaH Gaming. 2-1, they take the lead inside a villa.
Well, again, I think everyone kind of expects YeaH Gaming to take this, but these are very close rounds for me. They're battles, and it's kind of coming down to these moments of frags, which I guess it always would have with this region. And so far, obviously, Leak's really lighting up and having a great game. Godzilla's yet to find a body, as is Yangi. And, it's one of those, it's the set of teams and it's the balance of Talisman players and how you can kind of get it to work. They're going to go back to trophy statuary. They're going to take the other top 4 point. That was their first round win, but are we expecting the same pace from YeaH Gaming at this point? Or are they going to be a little bit more metered and a little bit more balanced in this?
Trophy statuary back up again for NGdP, and they did win it last time, probably due to YeaH Gaming and their quick rush potential. And now they've just realized, you know what? Thermite entry didn't really work. Well, they're not even playing the Thermite. Honestly, that last round, they didn't play him for the breach. They played him as an entry.
Yeah.
Which 5.56 is a great gun. It is really strong. I'm a big fan of it because I'm a bit of a Thermite main these days. Catch me in the rank scene, if you dare.
Just take care of the fraggers and then you'll be okay. Jekyll on the board as well. Jekyll to try and get some control of NGdP and mainly to get some control of the roam game that they've been running. Leak is actually opted to go to the Maestro, so a bit more of a solidity build there for who has been a pretty rabid Jaeger. And Conte, the one who lit up so expertly in the previous map, is actually the one that's going to pick up the mantle of that very destructive roam capabilities. Setting up the Maestro cam against the wall again, you can see there, or in fact they're using the Maestro to set up against the wall even by doing this, by cracking open the floor so they can watch it from underneath and pop any of the hard destruction that hasn't been bought in case it gets put on it. Maybe that's why. Maybe they know that the other team is so good at shutting down hard destruction. Gold Striker is just gonna just spawn peek out.
Yeah, Valkyrie camera can, of course, enable him to do so. And once again, YeaH Gaming on the back foot. But that really hasn't phased them all too often because they've been able to bring it back into their advantage, and they do just so. And Gold Striker eliminated. Now 4v4. But still, more roam game being established by NGdP. But still, equally, they've got a bit of anchor here now, because they have 2 of their ACOGs inside, along with their Legion, of course, can create those goo mines and stop those quick rushes. So I'm liking the setup from NGdP, and with no hard breach, as we know from YeaH Gaming, their only way in is via staircases, where goo mines are going to be located.
Well, that does stop the nuke in her paces, and Maestro just wide swings against it, and it works brilliantly. Cuts her down at the bottom of the stairs. Freeze out is still pushing aggressively, almost finds the Legion as well. Only 2 for now. Finka has picked herself back up and drops Godzilla in the meantime, brings it to a 1 versus 2. We've seen them take 3 versus 1s before, and you look how injured Legion is. He's not that far away, just a spray, but all of the position is given away with 1:40 on the clock. He's got to start doing something. Caught out by the ADS just on the other, and you saw the man loop underneath. He's dropped down, he's going to rotate back around, and they're going to try and keep on the diffuser, which has been dropped on the landing side. We can see someone's holding it close. There's all this barbed wire that YeaH has to get through first, and YeaH even, Finka even, and they're covering the landing stairs. Pre-fires it, knows they're there, and the Valkyrie cam saw them collect it as well, and there goes the Legion, and this cover is what brings themselves back round, and Conte, NGdP, a good cover there on that diffuser.
That was a great little bait, though, there from Finka. Going for the pickup, then obviously Legion's going to think, oh, Chaz diffuser, going to plant and bomb site, but no, it was a quick bait. I did like that, though, but Crossfire's being established, a great rotation from Legion. You have to commend him for that, being able to see the danger, knowing that their team has a diffuser, and that's let YeaH Gaming down before as well, is by them not having control of the diffuser, it's left them in sticky situations.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we can kind of talk about how this game is going, and we can compare it to Standard Villa, where normally you're expected to win your defensive rounds. So the attacks that have been taken for YeaH Gaming could, normally, I would say they're going to be a big part of the wheelhouse. But we've got to remember that YeaH Gaming's defenses last time were occasionally picked apart by NGdP.
I would love to see a count of how many times we've said yeah inside this cast.
Yeah, gaming. It's got an exclamation mark as well, so it makes me really want to shout it, but I know we've also got 2-3 weeks more casting, and I don't want to, as fun as it would be, I don't want to ruin my voice just shouting yeah over and over again.
Wow, not committed to the cause. That is screaming yeah gaming. But even think about it, we reply to our answers like, oh yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Be interesting. It's like the time the USN caster said bruh.
Bruh?
Yeah.
Bruh. Bruh. Yeah, I saw that counter. That was a great video. Setting up now for the Aviator hold that has otherwise been doubly unsuccessful both times. Can NGdP find a way to keep it under their control? This time, my suggestion would be, I mean, okay, I was about to say less aggressive Valkyrie. Let me correct myself, because we just saw good aggression from Gold Striker. Don't just prone in the middle of a door trying to get a spawn peek when you know they're going to be shutting you down from multiple angles. Like, for me, that was a bit of a curious decision. Maybe they know something that I don't, but I just feel like there's better ways to peek against that door or hold that door if you needed to. Godzilla setting up Capcans. First time we've seen Capcan bought today, and I believe the first time we've seen Ella bought today as well on the hands of YeaH. They're trying to do everything they can to stun the fast push and see if they can just batter back YeaH Gaming a bit.
YeaH on the roam. Has the Ella, of course, knows. I think those Grismolds are going to be great for kind of denying the rush game from YeaH Gaming that we know they're constantly going to go for. There is no doubt in my mind that we will see, again, a very heavy frag game. Again, lack of drones is another thing that I am just so concerned about. I say there's one goes past, but it's just only one, though. It's just the one drone, and he's kind of pushing into areas that hasn't been droned, though, so I'm even more worried about it as well.
Well, there goes the Capcan straight through, and this Jackal is now going to be a little bit more concerned about
Yeah, he's looking at everything at this stage.
Yeah, he sees one there, and he can't suffer another.
This is a cool new sight. Look at that one. Wow.
I quite like how it looks. It really just keeps you, keeps your head in the game. Look at all the space that gets cleared out, and through the body of Gold Striker as well. Tries to get someone sneakily through the drone hole, but no luck, as yet again they're doubling up against this wall very quickly. Petrin is looking for the wide swing and the wide peak. In the meantime, YeaH gets someone underneath. That is Padron at least finding Luanza, and there's multiple points of pressure being put right now as they try and crack their way onto site. At the same time, the Roamers are being stuffed and suffering on the underneath of the point.
Yeah, Conte trying to creep up, but all the damage has been done. It's just Godzilla left inside, and the plant is happening inside a games room. Conte now creeps on in, but of course cover's going to be there. Another round for YeaH Gaming, it has to be, unless Godzilla can rampage on through, but it's highly unlikely. Gets shot from inside the vault. And there you go, YeaH Gaming yet again. Another round for them. The rush works, as always.
3-2 on their attack rounds, and, well, they've got to opt for another Villa defense point before they swap over that hasn't been lost. That can't be the only one that they've taken. Now it looks like they're going to opt to go down a floor, and I think that's a fair pick because their hold, whatever they're attempting on this Aviator, hasn't worked 3 times. You may as well throw it to the wall and see if you can find something with a little bit more magic down below. Dining room and kitchen is normally the third go-to point. No one really goes to library. It's just not quite as good, unfortunately, so we'll see if they can make something out of this. The Valkyrie has been a consistent pick on the side of NGdP. And at the same time, look at the doubling up and the tripling up of information with the Maestro and the Mozzie, and the joy of Elysian with his little audio cues as well. Mozzie, I say, is 6 picked off by YeaH to Caveira.
Cav coming into play. It makes sense, because in that last round, 2 players in the basement did manage to catch a single lone attacker trying to push in by himself. If it was a Cav in that scenario, oh, then you're really cooking with herbs and spices then. So you look at the kind of setup that, once again, YeaH Gaming are bringing. It's more of this Finca play. Finca has the most common occurrence throughout Latin America than it does any other region. I wonder why that is, Flick, because we did see this, like, quite a bit from even FaZe Clan during the quarterfinal match between Empire and them at Rally.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about bringing stats to this and bringing history in this for LATAM is the region is so, like, I know everyone always talks about the big teams and how they like to play, but for me it just always changes. Every single time I watch them, there's a change. And don't get me wrong, I'm not there week in, week out like a lot of the fantastic casters from the region and BR6 and all the kind of big leagues, but it's so hard for me to kind of predict how this stuff's going to go. I think, and we're seeing how hard it is for the teams to predict the other teams as well. Just even the motions and the movements that they make inside a round are just... Every game is a brand new flavor of spice.
It is, and most of them have been chili flavored. Wonder if this one's going to take a little more of a soothing approach.
I doubt it.
So what's the opposite of chili flakes in like a spice term?
It'll be cream free, wouldn't it? Or like
milk.
Milk. GCR drops gold. That is, the Gold Strike has been the opening frag and the opening death twice, and the last two have been GCR dropping him, and there is more pressure immediately put against the point. Godzilla and Leak find 2 back into their favor as Twitch and Finka suffer. Finka have been a pretty good part of the attack so far. They've really been rolling on it, and you can see Leak wants to rotate background. The Toxin goes out, and the man just drifts side to side on the door, and Leak again is hunting closer and closer and closer, and finds one, and Freezer at least gets the refrag, and Conti finds one as well. Suddenly, the man with the opening frag is the last man left alive, and the diffuser is out cold and being watched in the living room, and the Maestro cam is being a bit of a problem as well, and all the impacts are raining down, and the space is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as he looks for something over the shoulders of this bomb chassis and this table, and unfortunately just cannot find anything.
GCR just delaying time at this stage. No diffuser, very little HP, of course, still 3 healthy men from NGdP up and ready to gun. Smoke is tossed out, and Smoke just, like, as in Smoke the operator, has been, I don't think, non-existent for majority of these games. There's been very little Smoke play. Teams haven't really chosen him. Oh, under the cover of the fog, we can see GCR just walks in, but still no diffuser, and that's where Conte is going to be located. You can see Maestro, he's out of there. He's rotated away, utilizing that basement, of course. Oh, just springs up, and, well, Jacko goes down. Nice attempt, but still, nonetheless, a free split. And you'd probably like to favor YeaH Gaming going now into the defense.
Yeah, when you have that kind of space villa in your side and you have the roaming game that we've seen them display before, NGdP did try some fun, quick movements and fun, quick, aggressive peaks, but you know, it plays really, really well in their favor.
That ping, man.
It's
my
unfortunate.
word.
Again, obviously, the players opted to want to do this because they wanted to play the game, and we couldn't wait.
It's wild. I've never seen anything like it.
The servers to go back up. Yeah, it's a shame, but they're making do, and they know at least it's balanced across the board. It's not like they are the only team and the other team.
Oh yeah, it's not as if it's cross-region play.
Yeah. So there's at least some solace there, but obviously this is not anyone's fault, really. It's the unfortunate side of servers. Sometimes they get hit with this stuff. But hard destruction for hard destruction, 6th pick. Wow, are my eyes deceiving me?
It's 200 IQ play. Absolutely
never seen such a thing. Kavera on the board from YeaH, not hiding it. No 6th picks from their side. Smoke has been picked up as well, as you said. You kind of called for them, and they have answered your call. One of the staples of this that we saw YeaH Gaming do before is they didn't bring a Bandit or a Kaid, and they've opted not to again.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. Whenever I see Thatcher being banned out, if it's your team or the other team, you just think, okay, they just give Kaid a free ride here to do whatever he wants. Because that's the big thing about Kaid. He can stop a ban of pellets, even without, like a Thatcher rate going off, but he can't do it unless, the Thermite. You need that Thermite-Thatcher combo to really make it work, to stop that Kaid. It's just a really weird prospect. Like, it's super weird to not see teams pick up, a great operator to choose whenever one of the big counters to it is gone. Then again, Maestro as well, being chosen a lot, kind of provides that little bit of intel, so maybe they're valuing that over the Kaid in many circumstances. And even with the Thatcher being banned, it helps out Maestro a bit, because that is one of the counters to him.
Yeah, I think it's always good for me because I see how other regions approach this stuff. In EU, as you said, if Thatcher's off the table, you're bringing a Bandit, you're bringing a Kaid. Like, that's it, that's standard, that's going to happen.
We've seen teams who are like the second ban, so we would see the first ban be a Thatcher, and then their bans, the other team, they would ban Kaid. Just say, we're not even going to deal with this. Yeah.
And that's the thing, whereas here it's they ban Thatcher and they go, oh, okay, well, I guess we're just going to play whatever still, and play into the aggressive side and play Kavera and play kind of, these big roams with these operators. And I just love kind of seeing how other regions respond to this stuff, and I would love to kind of know the breakdown of why they consistently ban Thatcher. Because so far we've seen a lot of Thatcher bans across the games that we've seen. And they're happy to kind of take him out of the wheelhouse, which is a fair enough thing. But then from our experience on our kind of region and other kind of regions is that it would normally be then there would be other picks, almost guaranteed. Whereas here, it's not. Here, it doesn't. I'm not sure what it means for these teams to remove it.
So Maestro in 90, that is the ideal position for an operator of his caliber. Has that massive LMG with the ACOG, can rain down everything in that box. 81 bullets to go for. We've talked about it before. This is one of the greatest guns that is currently available for defenders, probably 416 being chucked in there along with the SMG-11, I would say. YeaH also gets his, I think that's his first or second kill potentially, and well, was that even an interrogation?
No, he just stabbed him. He just went up and knifed him, and look at that!
Oh my.
4 of them!
He's been rattled.
4 of them jumped out at that point. 2, look at them. And
It's as if they just mugged him.
And the thing is, I was about to say as well, so they'd gotten the first 2 kills, and then we started to see them rotate back and apply reverse pressure, and that's a really big thing that they seem to be doing, is as soon as they get a bit of ground, they'll respond by pushing the attackers back. Instead of just feeling comfortable and saying, right, we've got the man advantage, play at us and we'll just drop you, they go, no, let's get them out of the building. Let's push them back out of the building. Let's make them go back to square one.
Team of ninjas right there. That's what that was.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, Gaming already off to a great start in their defense. Trophy Statuary now up for them next to go. Looking at the lineup, NGdP following in the footsteps of not only Team Liquid, but also YeaH Gaming in their lineup. Classic no hard breach for LATAM. Finka also being a big operator that a lot of people take. And Jackal, Dokkaebi, Lion. Fluke, love to see it.
Yeah.
Or do you hate to see it?
I'm not a fan of seeing it. No.
I love it. I think it's great.
I'm never one that enjoys kind of playing against that. I think it, it obviously limits what you can do, but if there's a time when these operators have been developed, it's for you to play against a team like YeaH Gaming, to get a little bit on a semblance of control and just slow whatever they're doing down.
Do you know what I miss?
What?
I miss the old setup where you had old Dokkaebi, you had old Lion, old Jackal, old Jing, old Glash. Loved it.
I bet you did, Satan.
Yes, that's my ultimate setup.
You are a nightmare of a person.
You don't lose with it.
No, you don't. But you also don't have a good time.
Well, I have a good time if I'm killing people with the Yang just run in with a shotgun, easy peasy.
So, nobody as of yet has died, and weirdly that's a surprising sentence to say, as the opening 10 seconds have passed. They are going to keep the line of surprise for now. Obviously, maybe just get closer to the building. There is much more space between this and the previous one than when they last did their Lion rushes, which worked pretty effectively when we've seen it before on this map. They try to swing in and get themselves some control, worried about the run out, which is fair to do as they hear the impact pop off, and they're otherwise just going to keep control of the doors and start to instantly push their way in. There is the SMG-12, and there goes Jackal. The first ping goes in, and Goldstriker actually shoots the back of his teammate, but they're finding people on every side. Luanza finds one, and Goldstriker finds another as Freezow yet again pushes more aggressively, and no, drops the ADS just as he approaches the door for Godzilla to pick up yet another kill. YeaH is suffering the calls on the other side of the map and finding themselves a little bit lost for where, and otherwise it's just YeaH slowly creeping up to the landing stairs, going to pick the fight in front of them as it blasts past, and otherwise if they can catch one, maybe two here, that's how it changes, gets droned out and going to have to pull back. Cannot take this fight, the line goes off as well, but at this point you've just got to run, and they are going to try and hunt you and chase you down, so you've got to find the big use of the rotations on this map and find your way around to a potential square two as yet another call goes off.
Plant also trying to come in, and there's the kill from Guilherme, and Goldstriker bites the dust, but here comes the Cav, has managed to down the Lion, but the fuser in the midst of it has been planted. So YeaH now swinging around, both of them inside the bomb site. He sees the LMG, and that will give great intel away, but still, somehow, Fink is in it to win it. Still trying to pressure in. Here comes the Jaeger. They know exactly where he is, and there we go, YeaH Gaming. What a retake. 2v4.
Gotta give credit there to the player, the Caveira, and for
Jaeger as well.
On the point as well. Yeah, Guilherme just kind of locked the angle down, held it from range, took the one person that was prone, took the battle across the side, and they were happy to rotate.
It's just everybody from NGdP just peaked for no reason whatsoever. Whenever Jaeger got that first kill, why was that man lying prone? Why didn't he just hold that angle from outside of the doorway, beside the red stairs? Why didn't he just hold it there? You know, why did we have to see someone try and push in aggressively in towards Observatory rather than holding rotation hole? I don't know. Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's a couple of missed decisions, and I guess they get the man advantage and trust it, but time and time again, we're seeing these clutches come through from the side of YeaH Gaming that are just, you know, that's how the skill of the play, and that's what they're kind of happy to find their way around in. But I think, yeah, again, they're bringing the Caveira again, they're heading down to dining, they still have all of that space, and it was kind of exemplified of how good that space is in the previous round. The huge rotation, whilst being scanned, whilst being detected, and the whole mess of stuff. If the Jackal hadn't have been the first drop, if Jackal had survived, that Caveira might have had way less luck than she did. She was pretty happy to kind of get away with what she was doing, but otherwise, you know, it was a very, very well won round from the side of YeaH Gaming. They put themselves 5-3 for the first time. We're seeing a 2-round buffer. Has otherwise been a pretty bit of back and forth between these two teams so far. But obviously this is the toughest point to defend out of the 3 they've chosen. So we'll see if they can try and find a way to be a bit creative about it. They lost it as they attempted to attack it. And they only really attacked it once as we went into this. Now,
5 seconds to insertion.
Kitchen for YeaH Gaming. Aggressive, we could say, whenever a Valkyrie camera being tossed out in towards that balcony. Just gives that Jaeger much more control and that information, of course. Still no hard breach from NGdP once again. A very soft destruction heavy lineup. You're bringing not only the Buck Sledge, but even the Jackal sidearm shotgun, the Gridlock sidearm shotgun. You're bringing the 2 operators that have sidearm shotguns along with the 2 big soft destructors. If you're not going upstairs, I don't know what they're doing, but they're just walking into sight. The diffuser has been stopped though because Lion's been downed. YeaH Gaming now, they need to try and recuperate themselves, which is what they're doing. Into a 2v2, Maestro's still down, so no, it's going to be a 1v2 now. It's all down to YeaH, see if he can make this a success. Diffuser still not being planted, I say that. There it goes in towards the B bomb site. Kitchen is where it's going to come in from, but those track stingers, they went off just at the right time. It's completely blocked off the Jaeger. Some reason he's went off the plant. They know exactly where he is. They know there's track stingers. There's no way, YeaH, he stops this diffuser. He should not even win this round. If he does, well, fair play to him. No, doesn't even get that close to NGdP. They didn't go for the top floor. They just walked in sight.
where was Maestro in and amongst all of that? I was trying to spot...
He was over in the living room for some reason. I do not know.
I know what he was trying to do, was trying to stop it, but I'm trying to rack my brains as to why he didn't go and pick the man up. Because at that point, you know, generally they're on the point. You can kind of get this picked up. Maestro traded when he went down, so he's in a position to be picked up, and I don't know. For me, that would have changed potentially the face of some of that round, given them a bit more time. They would have definitely got the diffuser off, but when you're pushing a 2-1, they know exactly where you are, and the sides are tracked. You need a friend in that moment in time. 5-4. NGdP bring it back within one round, but we are now heading to Aviator. We're back to the point rotation, so there is an Aviator potentially ahead of them, and if they lose that, there is then a trophy ahead of them, and that isn't a nice prospect for anyone to kind of go up against, but they did pretty well taking their trophy on the previous round. 6th pick, Smoke to Isaias. They haven't locked it in yet. A Jaeger. They are going to lock in on the Jaeger. They're going to leave us in bated breath, and if they've got a strategy in mind to run this, I guess we'll see, but they have bought the Bandit. The attackers haven't bought the hard destruction.
It's just, I don't know anymore, Fluke. Everything's out the window. How do coaches and analysts from Latin America prep for teams? How do they do that?
They pray.
If they don't, then what's the point of them?
I mean, it's just, it kind of ties in, and I've said this a couple of times, in their aggression. They would much rather have an operator that they can reliably entry frag or reliably trade. And yeah, some of those operators have guns in, but when they're instead going for these quick, get your feet into point, get your feet into the building, cut the roam in half, because we know that they're going to be playing a wide game, because a thing about the region is if you give the defenders more time, they'll get you. They don't waste time. They don't hang around. They push, they're aggressive, they take the ground. So if you go from A to B and that B is the point and you cut them off in the meantime, you don't have the time to run your Habanas or your Thermites. You're just going to have to pick the firefights at the doors, break your way into the point, and then get the diffuser down by the time they get back round. You know, I guess, can they find a way to make this work again? Or are YeaH Gaming going to be able to utilize the space in this map as they have done before?
They've extended in towards that trophy statuary side as well. You can see that lone Caveira, but also Jaeger not too far away. Freezio ready to rock and roll. Just lying in wait towards the landing. And even Pedron, he's downstairs for some reason. Typically we want to see him upstairs, getting those goo mines established and trying to sanction off all of these rushes that NGdP are trying to establish. And once again, a very aggressive lineup. There goes the first Finka boost in towards that north side, and Caveira will finally be eliminated after some good gunfights from her. Took that Finka down to very low HP, but the LMG rattles on through. I guess Pedron also trying to catch somebody in towards that balcony side of things, but there's Jaeger, adds it on to the kill feed. Another one for Freezao, and now everybody's starting to grip up for YeaH Gaming. They've got a scent of the blood, and like sharks, they're moving towards their target.
Well, these footsteps are coming for Godzilla, and we've seen him kind of, unfortunately, be shut down before he can really make use of these beforehand, so hopefully that can be something that turns the tide in their favor as the roam game is still up and running, and there goes Pedron, brings it back to a 3-3, gives themselves a bit more of a chance now as they try and rotate and just hold back on the 90 side. They've got control of landing a little bit. Guillermo is covering the other two sides as well, looking for anyone that might wide peek, which to be fair is a bit of a staple that we've seen so far, but with 40 seconds they've got to start trying to find their way into this building. Pre-fires going through every drone hole and every wall possible, again wasting no time. The C4 over the top, and there goes Gold Striker again. The weight of these C4s is perfect. There goes Finka, 3-1, and there goes another one. GCR, bored of waiting and tired of sitting around.
He got fed up. He wanted, you know what? I'm gonna go get some kills, and he did just that. YeaH Gaming. Map point. Series point for them, looking to make it into the next round, and even if they do make it into the next round, look, they're going against Liquid.
Yeah, and a Liquid that earlier this night looked absolutely exceptional. They're just so well put together and so balanced and beautiful and brilliant. And this point so far for me, YeaH Gaming haven't looked as strong as they have. They've had really good rounds, don't get me wrong, but it was a 7-1-7-2 situation earlier in this night, and every single round looked like one that Liquid were in control of. Even the ones that they lost was because they were in control of their own loss. They were overextending and just plain silly. You know, and that's the thing about it. Whereas YeaH Gaming, they've had a bit of a fight put up against them by NGdP. It's a 6-4. We're looking on match point and looking at a 7-4 to wrap up what was otherwise previously a 7-3. But these have been tightly fought fights.
Oh yeah. It's been fire against just a bigger fire. For the most part, it's whoever can get those frags and whoever can aggress even more so, who can jump out of the window quicker, who can spawn peek the best. Just trying to whop each other for the most part. Still no hard breach, so we know what we're getting used to. It's going to be, again, another quick rush and a quick fight. There's the cap cam being brought in, which was brought against YeaH Gaming whenever they were attacking, and it did catch them by surprise that one time. And let's see if Guilherme can try and make these a success, and will NGdP be ready for them. Castle also on the table. Where are those castles going to go? Because that's the curious one, is what are they going to try and stop? Are they going to try and play them in towards site? Will they try and go for an off-site hold? Options for them? Sure, there's a lot of them. I would have liked to have seen one on that single window, though. Okay, so they're stopping the rushes.
Stopping the rushes.
3 of them down there.
3 of them, they're funneling them into a little bit of a corridor where they have to jump over from above. There's a lot of control in those castles, and Gold is wasting no time to start breaking the way onto Astro. It almost catches a man on the rotate who was very eager to try and get against that, and they're going to actually drone their few steps ahead, which is a fair move because there is 2 very big, very scary guns pointing at you from either side. And Pedron has also decided to rotate up and join you as well. Freezao has the rotation underneath, is caught out and is going deep, is maybe going to try the run out, but it was weighted and baited by the Finka.
That's an F right there. Can we get an F in chat? That was unfortunate. Somehow Finka read that, so fair play to what she was going for. And Pedron just peeks the man in the window while his gun was not reloaded, and he peeks again. Pedron, man, come on. you don't do those kind of things, and Godzilla now pushes in and eliminates GCR, but then a quick refrag is there. But still a 2v4, all to do for YeaH Gaming, all to do for YeaH, more importantly. Still that man in the window, peeks, finds him, as that Nomad still went off, and this should be an easy frag, but Buck was not quick enough on the rotate. YeaH now pushes away in towards the B bomb site. Everybody trying to lurk in towards A, but you can see this time, NGdP, they're taking their time. They're slowing things down. They're trying to find where he is, but YeaH, very quick on his feet, trying to keep as much movement as he can. Knows there's one creeping up in towards the staircase, one, of course, over towards B, and the other trying to push in towards that. Observatory, oh, there's the kill from YeaH. It's now 1v2. But they're in sight, trying to go for the plant. See if the cover's here. YeaH swings across, they both line up, and that sends them into the next round. Somehow Maestro has made that work. Fluke, he has no right in doing what he has just done.
That was a way to end a pair of games of Siege. YeaH Gaming take a 2-0 that was at sometimes sketchy, but at the end it all kind of came together.